Okay. Now, thankfully, they haven't thrown too many problems like that at us, because once we get into chapter 8, we'll focus totally on conversions between stuff, metric in our system. Okay. So now, today we're going to do chapter 5.
What section?
Let's see, 5, 7, and 5, 8. What's up?
People don't like to come to school on Mondays.
I find that a lot of people don't like to come to school on Wednesdays either. But let me see what you guys can do with this. It's going to give you one to work on by yourselves. Let's see who can come up with the answer.
What page are you?
289. If I had this sequence of numbers, all right, let's do this here.
+4.
Okay, so now it's the easy step. What's the pattern there? I keep adding 4. Now, I appreciate there's a couple of students who, if I asked them what the next few elements would be, they would tell me 3, 7, 11, 15, 19. 3, 7, 11, 15, 19.
No.
That's normally not what you guess, right? It could be, but more likely you just keep adding 4. So that one I like better, right? So the idea is you keep adding 4. Work on this. You should not have to write it all the way out. I want to know what the 97th term is. Are you with me? This is the first term. This is the second term. Third term. Okay, that's exciting. I want to know what the 97th term is without writing them all out. There should be a way to get it. Because you just keep on adding 4, don't you? I'm going to let you guys just attack that. Do what you don't tell me if you already know. If you want a clarifying question, you can ask a question, but don't say anything about the answer yet.
Yeah.
Think about it. Just give you a little hint. Think about how you would get from here to there, and here to there, and here to there. I want to figure out something about how to get that 97th term. Think about it. I want to challenge you guys. This is nothing I'm going to grade. This is just your chance to try anything and see if it works. So I know somebody out there is probably just writing them all. Add 4, add 4, add 4, add 4. I want to get there. Don't do that. Don't do that. I think most of you guys are just waiting to see. Don't do that. Try something. I think most of you would be pretty territorial about it, but if you want to collaborate with somebody, that's fine. Most of you be like, don't look at my idea.
I got it.
That's right, right? That's right.
No idea, but I'm trying to do that.
Let me kind of help you. Anybody have a guess, possibly,
4
or
times 97.
that's sort of getting there, right?
Yeah.
I just plus 97 and 4. I went 97 plus
All right, so we got basically the same idea here. Something about 97 times 4.
That's what I was.
That's not quite it, though.
No, plus. Plus.
Plus what?
97 plus 4.
Oh, 97 plus 4. That won't quite do it either. Because if I knew it was 97, I would add 4 to get the next one. But I want the 97th term. Like, what's the 4th term? 15.
Yeah.
That doesn't have anything to do with this here, right? So this one I like a little bit better, but it's still not quite right.
97 plus 1 plus 97.
There's something about plus 3.
Cover your mouth.
That's still not quite right. So let me break it down.
That's so
All
close.
right, so the first term is 3, right?
I have the right to breathe oxygen as well.
You don't.
What's going on? What's the matter?
What about food?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really bad actually.
Yeah, that was weird.
Can I ask him to cover his mouth? Yeah, come say about it
Oh,
earlier.
he's got his mouth covered.
I took a breath of air like this.
Oh, okay.
And it
But
disturbed
I've
her.
seen it.
And-
It does
That's all right.
disturb me. That's gross.
Oh, come on, guys. If he coughs, he'll keep it on. Otherwise, he can breathe. I think he's allowed to breathe.
Oh, he should go
I
home
appreciate
if
that.
he's sick.
All
I
right.
didn't say don't breathe.
All right, guys. Get over it or move to the other side of it. Yeah.
Would it be 387?
All right, let's see. How'd you get that?
Yeah,
That's
you want
okay.
So I have a guess, 387.
No, we're trying to find a 97, so I would assume that would be on the other side of the equation. And then on the other side, I would put 3, because that's the first number we started off with, plus the 97th number minus 1, and then put parentheses and put the difference, which is 4.
Like that? Okay. Now, let's tease out why that actually is the right answer.
What?
Let's tease it out. Here we go. Here we go. I like the fact that, do you see this thinking here? How many steps do I want to take? Not 97, that's the one problem with it. But then it makes sense that I just have to multiply by 4, how far out got to go out times 4. What's where do I start? 3. What's the second term? 3 plus 4 is 7.
Mm-hmm.
So how many steps have I taken? 1. But I'm on the second term, right? What's the third term? 3 plus another 4. So 3 plus 2 4s. 3 plus 8 is 11. How are we doing? So to get to the third term, I had to take 2 steps, of course, right? So to get to the fourth term, start at 3 and take 3 steps of 4. So to get to the 97th term, start at 3 and take 96 steps. Because I start on 1. 1 step to get to 2, 2 steps to get to 3. So how many to get to 97? 96 steps. So 3 plus 96 steps for every step is how big? 4. So if I start at mark 1, and the next mark is, mark 3, and the next mark is 7, I take 4 feet to get to 7. So that's 1 step I've taken so far, right? To get to the third term, I take another step. So now I've taken 2 steps to get to the third term.
Which is 11.
So to get to the whatever term, don't I take that minus 1 steps to get there? So what I wanted to see from you guys was pretty much exactly this, even though it's not quite right because it's a little weird that you got to subtract 1, but do you guys see why? You start at the first one, so you take 1 step to get to the second one, right?
So you're subtracting.
Just 1.
So let's double check. What should the 7th term be then? It would be 3 plus how many steps? 6 steps, where each step is 4 big. So start here. Number of steps. How big each step is.
What? Okay, I'm not seeing where you get the number 3 from.
Because that's where I start.
That's your starting point.
Again,
number
if
3.
I would have put a 5 there and I keep adding 4, what would the next term be? 9, not 7, because I have to add 4 to 5, not to 3.
That's just because, okay.
So start at 3.
Yeah.
Add the number of steps times how big each step is. Physically, that just makes sense, right? If I start at 3 and every step I take is 4 foot big, how many steps will it take to get to 11? A couple steps, right? Same idea.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we're going to formalize this. This is a nice little equation you can write down on your formula sheet, right? So what should this be then? Don't say 36.
31.
Good. Well, not 20, 31. What is it? What's 6 times 4?
28 plus 3.
24 plus 3,
7.
Wow.
27.
I'm multiplication.
Now, how can we check that? What do we got so far? 3, 7, 11, 15, 19. That's the 5th term. 6th term is 23. Next term, 27. Yay! Right. So you can check yourself if it's not that big. But 97, please, dear God. I always have somebody at the test that just turns their paper over. I say, what's the 101st term? I'm like, oh my God. Yes.
So if you
Please
start-
don't do that.
If you start, okay,
Yeah, but
start from the first number that you have, as your starting point.
Yes.
Add,
I don't think I'd have the patience.
where did the 6 come from?
If I want the 7th term, how many steps do I have to take to get there?
6 steps.
6 steps, always
Whatever
one less.
step you're
Minus the first
requesting.
Minus 1.
Minus the first one, because that's the first number you started with, right?
I only have to take 6 steps
To reach number
to
7.
get to the 7th place.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, right? So I see some weird Survivor thing where you gotta jump and there's like hot coals or something. And you're at pole number 1. How many jumps do you have to do to get to pole number 7? Not 7. Don't take 7 because that's a cliff there. That'll be bad for the show. Right? So 1 step and now you're at 2, and 2 steps and now you're at 3. So I only have to take 6 jumps to get to 7th place. Yeah.
It's kind of like the one question on the test where it was how many times you have to cut the board and to get 4.
Yes, cool. It's not 4 cuts, it was only 3.
Yeah.
Tricky.
Because that first cut,
Give
and the
us a
second
break.
cut, and the third cut is kind of backwards here a little bit, but that last cut makes 2 pieces. Here, that first step is not really a step, it's where I start. So that's why it's kind of not counted. I think it's kind of what you were saying. It's not counted because I'm already there. Okay. So let's kind of formalize this a little bit. Because right now it might seem a little, good God, what kind of stuff do I have to figure out? The first thing I want to formalize is how we refer to each piece. This is going to be called A1. This is going to be called, incredibly enough, A2, A3, and so forth. So what do you think AN is? Yeah, N is whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
So I made it 97, but you can make it 1042 if you really felt like it,
Or
right?
whatever number you're asking for.
And how do I get that? Where do I always start? No matter where I want to go, where do I start?
The number
3
that you start plus.
plus, now how did I get
The
6?
You minus from the.
Exactly. So if I want the 7th, I got to multiply by 6. If I want the 97th, I got to multiply by 96. If I want the nth, n minus 1.
See, the way the book writes it makes it confusing. Because
That's what it is written.
A-N is, it has that, but then it's A1
I know. I'm taking it step by step.
minus 1 though.
So this is still concrete example. This is still based off of this. Everybody with me? The next thing I would do off of this is, this doesn't have to be what it is. It could be any sequence, and that's when I want to bring more variables in here.
Right.
Right? So as you start at 3, and you take 1 less step. Does everybody understand that part? Of course, 1 less step to get where you want to go, times how big each step is, which in this case it was, each step was 4, right? 4, 4, 4.
I thought they just should have put A-N instead of just N in parentheses. Because it makes it seem like it's 2 different numbers.
Here?
Yeah.
But no, it's got to be n minus 1.
Right, but it's still 97, and you're trying to find the 97th place.
Good.
So they're the same number, but it makes it look like they're 2 different numbers because they're not the same thing.
He's just doing it step by
So,
step.
so,
I understand what he's doing, I'm just saying the way it's written, I know it looks
all
weird.
right, I want to be careful though, because people confuse n and stuff sometimes. So let's do an example. Let's do another example. So what kind of a sequence does this work with? It's got to be a sequence where I keep doing what?
The same.
Adding the same thing. The next type we'll look at is what if I keep multiplying by the same thing? All right, so this one's called an arithmetic sequence. Thankfully, arithmetic A addition, right? That's kind of nice. So this is an arithmetic sequence. I just like saying arithmetic. It sounds cool. So another example. Now I'm trying to make a general formula that we can have sitting on a formula sheet. What if I had this here? Cool. Keep adding 7, right? So can you please, let's see if you guys can do this. Don't say it out loud. Try to write what that would be. Same way we wrote what this is.